The last part of the question, which is part C here, is with regard to recording the journal entries in the books of Sri Jaya Berhad, which is the book of buyer. Okay, what happens in the books of buyer, okay, is that the buyer is a newly formed company. So in the books of the buyer, we have to open the books of buyer. Open the books of buyer. Now to do this, okay, we need to pass through certain journal entries. Okay, that means all assets taken over by the buyer from the seller will be debited, and it will be credited to a temporary account called business purchase. Okay, so that means for all assets will be debited and credit business purchase account. So business purchase account here is a temporary account. This is to facilitate the opening of all the assets and liabilities taken over by the buyer. So let's take a look at the journal entries. Okay, but before that, the journal entries we record, and the value that we record in the books of buyer is the revalued amount, which is the amount when we calculate the purchase price, which is the total of Sri and Jaya. This is the amount that the assets and liabilities of Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad, which is taken over by Sri Jaya. So the total will be, this is the total or the amount which is relevant to the buyer. So this will be recorded in the books of buyer. Okay, so to facilitate the opening up the books of the buyer, we open up a temporary account called business purchase. The first step is to record the purchase price. As we have calculated before this, we know that the total purchase price for Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad is 1290 and also 940, which totals 2230, which is the one that we have calculated earlier here. Okay. The double entry is debit business purchase and credit the liquidator, or in the books of the buyer, Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad, both of them will be the creditor. Okay. Just as for the book of the seller, the buyer is the debtor. So in the books of the buyer, the seller, which is Sri and Berhad, will become the creditor. So that's why we credit Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad. This one have not yet been settled. This is to record the purchase price. Okay, later on we will record the purchase consideration paid. Now the second step is to record assets taken over. Assets taken over, all assets taken over by Sri Jaya consists of assets taken over from Sri and from Jaya, which is the total amount here. For freehold premises, we took the amount, the revalued amount. Total is 1475. Motor vehicle, total is 190. and plant machinery 407, furniture and fittings 57. Total, we take the total from Seri plus Berhad, total, which is the figure in this amount. Okay, all this amount. And then debit. So we debit all assets taken over and credit business purchase. Total amount 229. 2229. Okay. The third entries is to record all the liabilities taken over by Sriwijaya Berhad. Okay, Sriwijaya Berhad only take over liabilities from Sri Berhad, which is 42. Okay, this amount 42. Okay. Next, we need to record the goodwill. Okay, goodwill that is on the acquisition of goodwill on acquisition of Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad. Total is 43, which is this amount. 23 plus 20. So this is recorded here. Debit goodwill and credit business purchase. So in the business purchase, if you open up business purchase account, but in this example, the question do not ask you to open up business purchase. Anyway, if you open up the business purchase, you will get something like this. This is the assets taken over by Sriwijaya from Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad, which total 2229, and liabilities taken over, which total 42. Debit all the assets, credit all the liabilities. Okay, and then debit goodwill, credit business purchase 43. Okay. Next step is to record the preliminary expense upon forming the company Sriwijaya Berhad. To form the company Sriwijaya Berhad, which is a new company, the company incurs preliminary expense or formation expense with the amount of 5,000. So Sriwijaya will have to pay this with cash or bank. Debit preliminary expense, credit bank. This is mentioned in additional information number 4 here. Okay, formation expense or preliminary expense paid by Sriwijaya Berhad amounted to 5,000. This will be recorded debit formation expense. This is treated as intangible assets. Okay, and then credit bank. Next, we record the purchase price discharge ataupun purchase consideration. So the purchase consideration given by Sriwijaya to Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad is this amount. This will be debited, okay, to liquidator of Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad. If you open up Sri Berhad, for example, business purchase. This is the one that we record, and Sri Berhad, we pay Sri Jaya Berhad pay ordinary shares. Total amount of ordinary share is for Sri Jaya Berhad. Sri Berhad is 960. Okay. Debit, liquidator or Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad. Okay, Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad is the creditor. So we debit it, settle it. Yang ada kat sini ialah 400,000 and also 800,000. 800,000 at $1 is 800,000. 400,000 at $1 is 400,000, which is yang ni. 800,000, 400,000. Okay. And to preference shares, they also to Jaya Berhad, preference share in Jaya Berhad, they also issued ordinary shares, 250. 250 times par value. 250 times par value. So you get 250. This is the share premium at 20 cents share premium. And to the debenture holders, they paid also ordinary shares, par value 55 at par value. So total ordinary shares 800 plus 400 plus 250 plus 55. So you get 15050. And total for share premium is 310. Okay, 310, which is 160 plus 100 plus 50. Okay, and then cash. Sri Jaya also paid cash to Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad, 275 and 140. Total 415. Okay. And then lastly, to record the issuance of new debenture, because Sri Jaya needs capital and money to buy assets and liabilities of Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad. They issued a new debenture, which is 6% debenture at 500,000, which is at par. So they get cash 500,000. So the double entry would be debit bank, credit debenture. So the double entry here, debit bank, credit debenture, 500,000. Okay. So if you open up the balance sheet of Sri Jaya after the acquisition of Sri Berhad and Jaya Berhad, the balance sheet will look like this, which is the assets taken over from Sri and Jaya Berhad. Motor vehicles, freehold premises, motor vehicles, plant and machinery, furniture and fittings, inventory, debtors, goodwill. These are the assets taken over. Okay, and then preliminary expense. Okay, preliminary expense here, and bank. So the bank, this is issue of debenture, 500,000. The new issued debenture, the newly issued debenture, 500,000. Debit bank, credit debenture, plus this is purchase consideration paid to Sri Berhad, and this is purchase consideration paid to Jaya Berhad. okay, paid with cash, okay, cash, which is this one. Okay, debit bank, credit bank, credit bank. So the money that the Sriwijaya received from issue of debenture, okay, which is 500,000, will be used to purchase to pay purchase consideration to Sri Berhad, and also purchase consideration to Jaya Berhad in the form of cash. At the same time, they have to pay formation expense, preliminary expense, which is this amount, 5,000. Okay, and then creditors taken over 42, which is this one, this amount, creditors taken over 42, and OSC will be 800 to Sri Jaya and Sri Berhad, and to Jaya Berhad, to the debenture holders of Sri Berhad, and to the preference shareholders of Jaya Berhad. Share premium and debenture. So you get the balance figure for your balance sheet. Okay, that's all for amalgamation. That means we have finished amalgamation. The next topic will be on absorption. Okay, absorption. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.